Hey there tech fans, Rick here again with another product that I think you're going to really like. It's an HDMI extension kit from our good friends at Orei that allows you to share all of your HDMI media content from one location with a second remote location up to 400 feet away over a single Cat6 or Cat7 LAN cable. Now before I get too deep into all the features that make this a really special product, I always like to start with an unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and that way you'll understand exactly what you get if you buy the product. And then I'll dive into the features because Orei is a company that I've worked with quite a bit, and they always tend to build products that are a little bit better than the other competing products on the market. They'll build in advanced features and functions, and more often than not, when you use a product from Orei, you'll find that it does things other products that may look similar can't actually do. So I'll dive into those feature sets and explain exactly what you get with this product. And then I'll take a closer look at the transmitter and the receiver. I'll explain the indicators and connections so you understand how to use it. I'll also come back and do a brief demonstration just to show you how simple this product will be to use with your own equipment. So before I get into the unboxing, the product model is a UHD-EXB400UR-K, which is a long product name, but that kind of describes what the product can do. Now let's start with the unboxing and then I'll get into the features. So when you first open up the box, you'll find a transmitter module, a receiver module. This is at the primary location, this is at your remote location. You'll also find a set of brackets that you can use to mount these modules up off the ground and out of the way. You'll find a single power supply. It's a 24 volt DC 1 amp power supply. And you might be wondering, I've got two modules and one power supply. What's up with that? Well, this system uses power over cable technology, which means you can plug this into the transmitter or the receiver, and the power for the other module is sent over that same LAN cable. So it really simplifies your wiring. Also in the kit, you'll find a set of infrared blasters, and I'll explain those in a minute. You'll find a custom cable for connecting the transmitter module to a computer because this product also offers keyboard and mouse functionality at the remote location. So it's a KVM function where you can plug a keyboard and mouse in here and have the signals from those devices sent over that same LAN cable to actually remotely control that computer. You'll also find a contact card in case you have questions and a full instruction manual that gives you connection diagrams, specifications, and other really important details about this product so you understand exactly how to use it once you get it home. All right, so let's start talking about the features because I really like this HDMI extension kit for all the bells and whistles that they built into it. So as I'd mentioned, you can extend 4K ultra high definition media content 400 feet away over a single Cat6 or Cat7. That makes it incredibly easy for you to extend that content to an upstairs bedroom or downstairs in your den, so you can actually play something from a streaming media player here and have that content digitized, sent over the LAN cable to the remote site, and then broadcast or displayed on a TV down there. So it allows you to actually share that content with multiple locations. In addition to that, I'd mentioned the KVM functionality. That allows you to connect this end to a computer and have a remote office somewhere else in your home that you can actually control what that computer's doing. So it gives you a lot of functionality, especially in these times where a lot of us are working from home. It'd be great to use the computer in your computer room or your office, but then maybe you want to go out in the deck or upstairs to a bedroom and use the computer there. That gives you that functionality. I love the power over cable technology. That just really simplifies the wiring because normally most of the HDMI extension kits have a power supply in each end. And the challenge there is if you've got a media center here and you've got a bedroom here, it's often hard to find an open outlet in those rooms. So having one power supply means I can plug it in here if I've got an open outlet, or I can plug it in here and the power for the other module is being sent over that LAN cable. The other challenge with using two power supplies is that if one of those power supplies fails, the entire system is down, and then you're out searching for a power supply that matches the voltage and current and connections, and you can't get the system back up until you find one. So having a single power supply that's heavy duty means one supply will provide all the power you need for operation. I'd mentioned the infrared blasters before, and they're really clever devices. Essentially what they allow you to do is remotely control the content from that remote location that's being played at the primary location. And the way they do that is you'll see two different modules, a receiver module and a transmitter module that plugs into the HDMI extension modules, and the receiver module essentially picks up all the infrared remote control signals from your remote control at that second location, digitizes those, and sends them over the LAN cable to the primary location where they're rebroadcast by this transmitter module and picked up by the media equipment you're trying to control. So essentially, you've got infrared here, digital, and infrared here that controls the media content. So it gives you complete control over that content from that remote location. And that's really important because a lot of other HDMI extension kits may not provide that infrared extension feature, and then you've got to start the media content here, run upstairs to the bedroom to start watching it, but you have no control over fast forward, rewind, or any other function. So those features are in the kit, and I think they're really separated from a lot of other HDMI extension kits on the market. Now, if you stay tuned next, what I'll do is take a closer look at the transmitter and the receiver module, and again, explain the connections and indicators, and then I'll come back and do a brief demonstration to show you just how easy this product will be to use with your own equipment. And again, I'll remind you of a few things that I really like about this kit that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. Inside the kit, you'll find a sender module and a receiver module. The sender module is positioned at the primary location, wherever the media content is you want to send to the secondary location. And the receiver module gets plugged in at your remote location, wherever you'd like to enjoy the content. Both of these feature full metal enclosures, which make them incredibly durable. I'll start with the sender module. On the front of the unit, you'll find a power indicator on the left-hand side. The minute you add power to the unit, it actually starts an internal power on self-test where it's checking all the electronics to make sure everything's working fine. When it passes that test, it'll light that LED letting you know it's ready to use. To the right of that is an EDID switch, and that allows you to modify the frame rate and the resolution that you're sending to accommodate different media styles, and that's fully explained in the manual. Normally you'll leave it on copy, but you have control over how that EDID is set. To the right of that is a service port. It's a micro USB port, and that's used for pushing new versions of firmware to the modules if needed later on. A lot of times features and functions will be updated, and you can simply connect this to your computer with a micro USB cable here to a USB-A in your computer, push the firmware file to the module to do the update. On the bottom of the module, as well as on the sides, you'll notice ventilation slots. Those are designed to keep the electronics inside at a very comfortable temperature. They'll let heat escape during operation of the product. You'll also find holes in the bottom you can use with the included brackets to mount this up off the ground and out of the way. On the rear of the unit, you'll find a power port on the left-hand side. Again, you can use the power supply at this end or at the other end, and because of the power over cable technology, it'll actually send the power required for the other module over the LAN connection. There's also a tightening collar on there. You want to finger tighten that collar to make sure it doesn't pop out. To the right of that is a LAN port. That's where one end of the Cat6 or Cat7 cable plugs in between the two locations. To the right of that is an HDMI input port. You'll connect this to whatever media device you'd like to share the content from with your remote location. To the right of that are two infrared blaster ports, infrared in and infrared out. On the transmitter side, you're going to actually broadcast the infrared signals, so you'll want to plug in the infrared out here. Use the module that's smaller and plug it in right there. To the right of that is a PC connection. You can use the included cable to make a connection between here and a PC if you'd like to enable that KVM functionality. The receiver module is very similar. On the front of the unit, you'll find a power indicator on the left, service port on the right, vents on the bottom and on the sides, mounting holes for the brackets. And on the rear of the unit, you'll find a DC port here. Now again, because of the power over cable, you'll only use one of those two DC ports. So if you plug the power supply in at the transmitter end, you won't use this port right here. Next to that is a LAN port, and that's where the other end of the cable between the two modules plugs in. The HDMI output port is a standard HDMI connection. You'll connect that up to a monitor to enjoy the content at this location. To the right of that are two infrared blaster ports, and again, at the receiver side, which is the remote location, you'll want to plug the larger infrared blaster into the infrared in port. You're not going to use the infrared out port, so plug it in right there. Then to the right of that are two full-sized USB-A ports, and these are used for connecting a keyboard and a mouse at the remote location if you'd like to enable the KVM functionality. And that's pretty much it for both of the modules. Now I'll show you just how easy this product will be to use with your own equipment at home. And for this demonstration, over here I have a laptop connected to this monitor, and I'm currently looping a video of some of the drone flights that I've done recently. That's the media content I'd like to share with my remote location. Over here, I've set up a second monitor, and this represents my secondary location somewhere else in my house. It's wherever I'd like to enjoy the content from this primary location. And these can be 400 feet apart, so you can put this in an upstairs bedroom and maybe have your media content downstairs in the den. The only connection between these sites is the Cat6 and Cat7 cable. In front of me, I have the sender module here, which is located at your primary site, and the receiver module here, which is located in that upstairs bedroom. Now the first set of connections I'll make are to the sender module, and I'll start by connecting up the media source to the HDMI input port on the back of the sender module. And now I'm ready to add power. Now, because this solution uses power over cable technology, I can plug the power supply in at the primary location or the secondary location, and the power required for the other module is sent across that LAN cable. I already have the power supply plugged in over here. The other end of that cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs right into the DC input port on the back of the sender module. And now I'm ready to connect up the receiver. I've got an HDMI cable connected to the remote monitor. I'll plug that into the HDMI output port on the back of the receiver. Now, the only connection I'm missing at this point is the LAN cable between the two locations. And again, a Cat 6 or Cat 7. I have a Cat 6 right here. I'll plug that into the transmitter first. And then before I plug it into the receiver, I want you to notice that the power indicator's on right here. There is no power indicator on here. Watch what happens when I plug in the LAN cable. Power indicator comes on. Now, the minute I add power to both of these modules, they start an internal power on self-test to check all the electronics to make sure they're working okay. This one's also checking the resolution of my media content. This one's checking the resolution of the monitor so they can make whatever adjustments are needed when they're sending that media content across to the second location to give you the best possible picture and audio. And there you go. You've got media content here, again, 400 feet away from the primary location that's being generated over here. Now, one additional feature they have, in addition to the power over cable technology, which is really important, is the KVM functionality, which allows me to connect this up to a computer at the primary site and connect the keyboard and mouse up at the remote site and remotely control that computer. Now, to do that, you'll need to connect the transmitter module up to your computer. I've already connected up the cable on the computer end. This end plugs right into the custom port on the back, and this cable's included with the kit. And now the transmitter knows the computer's there. I can connect the keyboard and mouse up at the receiver end. I like wireless products, so I've got a wireless dongle here. I'll plug that into one of the two USB-A ports on the back. And then I've got a wireless mouse right here. Now watch what happens when I move the mouse. You can see I've got control. So essentially, I'm remotely controlling a computer down in the den from an upstairs bedroom. Gives me complete functionality. I've got a beautiful screen up here, and it's really an enhanced feature that you won't find on a lot of HDMI extension kits. So just to remind you of some of the features that this product provides, again, a 400-foot distance, ultra high definition 4K media content transferred across that distance, standard Cat 6, Cat 7 cable. The fact that I've got KVM functionality built in means I can remotely control the computer at this end. And then finally, the infrared blaster kit allows me to remotely control any content at the primary site by extending the infrared signals over that same LAN cable to the primary site so I can control the content I'm watching. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit, and with a couple of connections, you can be up and running in no time. So hopefully you found this review helpful. I've got links below if you're interested in the product. If you have questions about anything I've covered today, drop those in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. I love talking about any type of engineering technology where digits are flying across the cable somewhere or coming out of a battery to power something. So things like this, the HDMI extension kits, converters, audio connectors, all the things that you use at home that are kind of nerdy things I love talking about. So hopefully you found this review helpful. And until next time, stay nerdy.